Have you ever tried to run away from something you knew you were supposed to do? Maybe it felt too hard, too scary, or just not what you wanted. If so, you're not alone. There was once a man named Jonah who did exactly that. He ran from God. But what happened next? Well, it's one of the most jaw-dropping, heart-stirring stories in the Bible. Let me tell you about Jonah. Jonah was a prophet of God. That means he was chosen to carry God's messages to people. One day, God gave Jonah a very serious mission. "Get up, Jonah," God said. "Go to the great city of Nineveh. Tell them that I see their evil. Tell them to stop, or I'll have to bring judgment." Now, this wasn't just any city. Nineveh was the capital of Assyria, powerful, proud, and cruel. The people there were known for their violence and wickedness. Jonah hated them. The thought of warning them made his heart boil. He didn't want them to be saved. He wanted them punished. So, instead of going toward Nineveh, Jonah went the other way. He ran. Jonah rushed to the port city of Joppa and found a ship heading for Tarshish, the farthest place he could go in the opposite direction. He paid his fare, climbed aboard, and tried to forget about God. But here's something you should know. You can't run from God. Not across land, not across sea, not even deep in your heart. While Jonah was hiding in the bottom of the ship, fast asleep, a violent storm hit. Waves roared, winds howled, and the ship groaned like it was about to break apart. The sailors panicked. They cried out to their gods, threw cargo into the sea, anything to stay afloat. Jonah? Still asleep. The captain found him and shouted, "How can you sleep through this? Get up and pray to your God. Maybe he'll help us." Soon, the sailors realized something wasn't right. This wasn't just a random storm. It felt personal. So they cast lots to see who was responsible, and the lot fell on Jonah. The sailors gathered around him. "Who are you? What have you done?" Jonah stood there, eyes down. "I'm a Hebrew. I worship the Lord, the God of heaven who made the sea and the land. I'm running from him." The sailors were horrified. "You did what?" The sea grew wilder. Jonah looked them in the eyes and said something shocking. "Throw me into the sea. It's the only way. This storm is because of me." They didn't want to. They tried rowing back to shore, but it was no use. Finally, with trembling hands and broken hearts, they lifted Jonah and hurled him into the raging waters. And just like that, silence. The sea calmed. The wind stopped. The storm was over. The sailors dropped to their knees in awe of the God Jonah served. But Jonah wasn't gone. Oh no! The moment he sank into the deep, something massive and terrifying swallowed him whole. A great fish sent by God. Can you imagine it? Cold, dark, slimy. The sound of a heartbeat. The crushing pressure. The smell. 3 days and 3 nights Jonah stayed in the belly of that fish. And there, in the darkest place of his life, he prayed. "God, I cried out from the depths, and you heard me. I was sinking, but you lifted me up. I will do what I vowed. Salvation comes from you." God heard. The fish swam to shore and spit Jonah out. Covered in seaweed, coughing, gasping for air, Jonah lay on the sand, alive. Then, for the second time, God spoke. "Go to Nineveh, Jonah." This time, Jonah obeyed. He marched into that wicked city, stood tall, and shouted, "In 40 days, Nineveh will be destroyed." And guess what? They listened. From the king to the commoner. The people of Nineveh tore their clothes, fasted, and cried out for mercy. Even the animals were made to fast. The king said, "Maybe God will have mercy and spare us." And God did. Now, you'd think Jonah would be happy, right? Revival. A whole city saved. But no, Jonah was furious. "I knew you would forgive them," he snapped at God. "That's why I didn't want to come. You're too merciful." So Jonah stormed out of the city and sat under a plant, pouting. God, patient and gentle, caused a leafy vine to grow and shade Jonah. He felt better. But then, the next day, God sent a worm to eat the plant. The sun beat down. Jonah was miserable again. "Just let me die," he groaned. God asked him, "Jonah, do you really have a right to be angry about a plant?" "Yes, angry enough to die." Jonah snapped. Then God said something so powerful. "You cared about a plant that lived one day and died the next. But shouldn't I care about Nineveh, a city of over 120,000 people who don't know right from wrong, and they're animals too, and that's how the story ends. A question: God didn't just want Jonah's obedience, he wanted his heart. Jonah obeyed, but he didn't love. He preached, but he didn't forgive. He carried the message, but he missed the mercy. So now, the question is left for us. Will we obey God, even when it's uncomfortable? Will we love those we think don't deserve it? Will we choose mercy, because God always does? Because sometimes the storm isn't punishment. Sometimes it's a rescue. Sometimes the belly of a fish is the only place quiet enough for us to hear God's voice.